Hi, welcome back to McClutchy Maths. My name is Natalie McClutchy and we are continuing our video series today on surds by looking at how to divide surds. And it's our fourth video in the series. If you haven't watched our previous videos, it's assumed knowledge. So you may want to go back and have a look at those before you get into this. Now, before we go further, I just want to let you know how you can engage more with McClutchy Maths. Firstly, you could like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll know when the next video is available to watch. You could tell someone about the video by sharing it on your Class 1 note or popping it on your social media page. We're on Facebook and Instagram. Or you can even say thanks to us here at the channel by hitting that little heart button and donating $2 to the upkeep and running of the channel. All right, let's get straight in by looking at our key ideas about dividing surds. If I have a surd that's made up of a fraction, a surd on the top and a surd on the bottom, rather than writing square root x divided by square root y, I could simply rewrite that as this part as a fraction, x over y, and one big square root sign. The other thing I can also think about is that if I've got this with coefficients out the front, I can break that up into two fractions. I've now got the coefficients as a fraction and then this as one big square root sign and another fraction underneath. So we're going to use those key ideas as we develop our worked examples today. Here's our first worked example, negative root 15 divided by root 3. Now don't panic about that negative sign. All that means is negative 1 is multiplied by root 15. It'd be a problem if the negative was under the square root sign, but it's not, it's on the outside. Now you would remember that this division, it can simply be rewritten as a fraction. So we're going to rewrite that as a fraction now. Root 15 divided by root 3. Now this negative symbol will sit out the front, okay? So you don't need to put it up the top or down the bottom. You don't have to. If you do, it doesn't make a difference. It just sits outside. Now our next step is to rewrite this as one big square root sign. There it is, it's ginormous. The negative's still sitting out the front. And then we've now got 15 divided by 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5, so it becomes negative root 5. So we've simplified that quite well. Here's our next worked example, going a little bit more complicated this time. Remember, we can write this now as one big fraction under a square root sign, and this one will be a separate fraction multiplied by the surds. So now I'm going to rewrite that as 12 over 3 times 18 over 3, and I can simplify both of these. 12 divided by 3 is 4, 18 divided by 3 is 6, it becomes 4 root 6. Okay, worked example 3 looks a little scary, don't be panicky, we're going to deal with this little by little. Okay, so we've got root 36 xy divided by root 25 x9 y to the power of 11. Now I've got a perfect square here and a perfect square there. So let's deal with those first. Square root of 36 is just 6 root xy. And the square root of 25 becomes 5 root x to the power of 9 y to the power of 11. So let's deal with those numbers first. Get them out the front of the surd. So now we've got this fraction here, 6 over 5 multiplied by that fraction there. Okay. Now let's deal with these parts here. We can actually simplify this x to the power of 8 and this y to the power of 10 here. We can break that 9 into an 8 and a 1. We're going to break that 11 into a 10 and a 1. And that will mean we can move these y's and x's out to the front. Okay, so let's do that. We know that the square root of x to the power of 8 becomes x to the power of 4 out the front because it's multiplying by that power of a half. Same with the 10. Becomes y to the power of 5, and now we've simplified all of this into this little bit here. Now you'll notice I've now got square root of xy divided by the square root of xy. Anything divided by itself is 1. I can actually cancel those two out. Surds are gone. So what I'm left with is 6 over 5 x to the power of 4 y to the power of 5. And if these two numbers had common factors, I could simplify that part of the fraction as well. I actually don't need to, I've just eliminated the surds altogether. So that's a much simpler way of writing this. It's kind of neat how that worked. I would suggest maybe pausing the video, maybe rewinding and watching that again because that's about as complex as you're going to see it in your exams. Now if you've got any questions at all about anything you saw today in the video, mcclutchymaths@yahoo.com is the place to email me. If you would like some examples of some more difficult questions that you want to practice with, I can also shoot some of those to you too. Well, you've been watching McClutchy Maths. Thank you for joining me today. Have a wonderful day.